it's Jojo from Mojo Jojo Plans with Amber from Amber Plans Her Day, and we are back with our first real talk of 2021. Ooh, and hopefully we can make this like a full like year-long, at least once a month goodness and all of that fun stuff. So today we wanted to come on and kind of just talk about the reality of YouTube and the vulnerability that has along with it. I know in my 1 year on YouTube video, I kind of explained how I was hesitant with starting a YouTube just because of all the things I thought that were involved with it. And we just kind of want to go into that more and more of just the side that makes it super vulnerable and how hard it can be, especially with dealing with community and other people's opinions, and you just have like a lot of different things coming at you that I feel like a lot of people that might just be watching YouTube don't really realize what goes on behind the camera. And so we kind of just wanted to come on and just kind of talk about that a little bit more and just kind of give that side, like the other side, like what happens behind the scenes in that, so that way those that don't do it have a better understanding and can have different expectations, or maybe it kind of helps them change their opinion, and or maybe it helps them keep their opinion. I don't really know where else to go with that, but so we just thought it'd be fun to kind of just talk about that and get real about it, especially when we see things happening in the community that aren't okay. It kind of just, like, for me personally, it like lights a fire, because it's like I put so much work into it, and then a lot of time it's people that don't do it that are kind of like bashing other people that do YouTube. And so it's just kind of hard for me to see posts like that and things in the community like that. And this kind of goes along a little bit with our very first, right? That was our first real talk about bullying. So it kind of like goes a little bit into there. But yeah, do you have anything leading with that?
I don't know. I think you hit it. We're going to talk about YouTube.
Hit it. Killed it.
Yes.
Killed it. So YouTube is vulnerable. It is like putting yourself out there. It's different than just being on Instagram. I feel like Instagram, you can, as with everything in the social media world, everything on the internet, it's really easy to hide behind a text. It's really easy to just hide behind words. You can say, I feel like it gives you like a power to say whatever you want and not have to deal with the consequences of what you're saying, because you're just saying it over a text of words and you're not necessarily saying it to a person's face. Whereas with YouTube, it's like that, but it's also like I can get in front of the camera and like really talk to you, or at least try to feel like I'm talking to you. And so that's definitely a little bit more vulnerable, especially for me. I'm a super introvert. So for me, it's kind of hard to do it sometimes still. I'm still getting used to it. I feel like I'm getting better, but it definitely is a little bit harder for me.
Yeah, and just like even in just like, top down videos like Plan With Me's, it's just like you're actually talking to them or to you guys, or like and then with comments going around, it's like you're talking with them kind of, so it's like more of a relational conversation. So it just takes a lot more. And like, with just like a picture that you would post on Instagram, it's basically like you type whatever you want and then people can just say something. But when you're filming, you have to kind of talk. Like you can't just like sit there. I mean, you could do music, Plan With Me's, but like a lot of people prefer talking, and I prefer talking through them. So like I'm telling you guys like personal aspects of my life, like sharing it on my YouTube, and I think that makes it a little bit more vulnerable too.
Right, and I think it's more of like a personable thing. Like I might be talking about something that somebody out there like might be relating to, and that's why I like to talk through my stuff, just because like I'd like to talk through my process, or like maybe I'm putting down something and it like reminds me of something funny that happened, so I'll just like share little stories here and there. And everybody has their preferences, right? Like some people like that, and some people would rather a sped up Plan With Me that's just like speeding through it, that's like less than 5 minutes long, and it's some music playing, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's like, we're not saying anything against those things. It's just like all preferences. But I do feel like there's a point where those that don't do can't really have a say in like what goes on behind the scenes or how something is done. You just kind of have to find that YouTuber or, you know, that person that does the plan with me is the way that you want them to be done. And then, you know, stick with that and not take the time to, I don't know. So recently I had like a negative comment on one of my videos, and it kind of just like lit a fire in me, more because it was about something like I literally can't change. There's nothing I can change about my voice. And, you know, again, we have power. Like, your words are still power, even if they're over, like, just like a text and just over social media. Words still have power. And what made me more mad was, like, that person took the time to, like, write something negative. I'm lazy, you guys. I have the time. It's hard for me sometimes to sit there and type certain things, and it's hard for me to sit there and, like, write an email, and it's hard for me to sit. So, like, the fact that somebody, like, took the time to, like, write this negative comment rather than spreading positivity kind of thing, I'm like, if you're going to be that kind of person, then just leave, because I don't have time for your negativity in my life kind of thing. So, like, that baffles me alone. But it's just, you know, I don't know. It's just, you have to find your preferences, and there's a difference between constructive criticism and then just straight up being rude and bullying. And that's something just we have to be really careful with over social media. And I've been seeing it actually quite a bit, like through on like Facebook, Happy Planner groups, and like on Instagram and here on YouTube. I've seen, you know, and I've heard from some other planner babes, you know, some comments that they've gotten. And, you know, that's not our community. And so it just like makes me sad to see things like that happening. Obviously, some people are just miserable and like to try to make other people miserable and or just want to make other people feel bad so they can feel better about themselves, whatever it is. I
mean, just like, don't go out of your way to be mean. Like she said, constructive criticism is different. Like, oh, like today your audio is off, or oh, like your lighting is off. And like for me, I always just blame Mike, my husband, because it's true. Like, he does help, but I'm like, but still, even like, I'm like, okay, like, thanks for letting me know, like, so that tomorrow's video I could like change it and make sure that it's not like that. But like, when you have comments about like your voice, like, what do you want me to do
right.
for tomorrow's video?
Should I use a voice box instead? Like, what is the right action I should take with that?
Right.
But yeah, so there's like a difference between
no
constructive criticism is things that can be changed, things that can be worked on to be made better. So like lighting, like your lighting was really off today. Awesome. Like I had bad lighting coming through my window. Hopefully, like I'm trying, you know, my best to figure out ways to make my lighting better.
Yeah, or you filmed at a different time of day.
Right. Or like the angle was super off. Like it was weird, like a weird camera angle. You know, like things like that we can change. Things like your voice, your skin tone, what your hands look like, what, you know, like those things aren't changeable. Like that's just straight up like being rude. You shouldn't say that. And so like the fact that people have said that makes me so mad. And I'm just like, why? Why did you take the time to just sit there and write that negativity? Like nobody needed that. But I'm giving anybody full permission to, if you ever see anything negative, to just, you know,
constructively negative.
Right. That's like, yeah. So I'm like all for it. I'm all for figuring out how I can make things better. I know I'm still trying to work on it. I film with a window that has horrible blinds, and every now and then if the light is so bright, like those blinds shadow onto my desk area where I film. I've made a makeshift poster board that I now put over the whole window, so that's helped a lot. I gotta get like 3 more poster boards so I can cover the entire window so I don't have that problem anymore. So I'm still working on it. It's not a permanent fix. I mean, we might be moving in a few months anyway, so I'm trying not to get married to like anything right now. But you know, so like those things like are willing to change, or like your audio, or you sound like really loud, could you turn it down, or things just constructive. Like I'm all for it. I'm sure Amber is all for constructive things that we can work on to make videos that you better like. You know, just just be nice with what you say. No, I don't. For me, I didn't let it. I try not to let negativity, like negative comments, get to me, because it's like, oh, the person. I like to laugh it off, because I'm like, that person really took the time to like they must be going through something if they really took that time, or have way too much time on their hands, or blah blah blah, whatever. I'm not gonna let it get to me. But it does sting a little, because we're putting in so much work. Like the work that goes into it, the time that goes into stuff for YouTube. I know for me personally, and Amber, I know too, because we have kids, we have to do all our stuff when the kids are sleeping or they're not home. Like that's the only time we can get things done. So my only times are in the afternoon and then at nighttime. And that's it. Like if I miss any of those, or early in the morning if I want to kill myself waking up at 5 a.m., which if I get myself in the habit, I feel like I can do, but I just don't want to.
That's never going to happen for me.
She loves her sleep way too much. So like people have different things. Some people that don't have kids have all the time to figure out whatever, just different, different things. But a lot of time goes in. I spend time doing that sometimes instead of spending a lot of time with my husband, or we'll try to pick nights where I'm like, okay, this is my filming night, and then we'll hang out tomorrow night kind of thing, so there's a lot of things that we sacrifice. I feel like that a lot of people don't realize behind the scenes, and not only filming time, but editing time, uploading time, taking pictures, to go along with those things. It all takes a lot more time than what you see put on YouTube, that what is actually put out. There is probably like at least another hour or so, depending on what type of video it was, that went into making that video,
and just coming up with content too. It's like that takes time,
right? Like what's needed right now. I know I spend a lot of time anytime I see like scrolling through Facebook posts and I see somebody ask a question like, somebody know how to do this or how to make this, and that's when I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I can figure it out, so that way that could be a helpful way to answer that question or something like that. Just it's vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there, you're putting your personality out there, you're being vulnerable and just hoping people kind of accept you as you are, and you don't want to have to put on like anything fake, because it's easy to tell when things are fake. I feel like, and that's not something that you want to do.
Right.
So you just kind of have to be cool about it, and
and like I know, at least on my channel, like I've only gotten a very few negative comments. I think you've only gotten a very few too. But like for the majority of people who watch our videos, I do know like they're so great and so encouraging.
Yeah.
But like keep that up. Like I know, like when you're talking about being lazy, and I was like, you're like, I don't even have the time or energy to put the negative comments. I'm like, girl, I don't even got the time or energy to put the positive comments.
Right.
Like, but that's something like that is really appreciated, and I know like a lot of content creators do like care about that, and like even if we don't respond to every comment, which right now I feel like small enough to respond to every comment, at least to the best of my ability. But like I know even people bigger than us who like just can't. But like we read the comments.
Right. I love reading. That's, if anything I go through. I might not comment. I usually try to heart them all, so that way I saw it and I read it. Like I don't heart it until I read it. And then if I have time, I'll comment back, kind of thing. It just kind of depends on what time of day. Usually it's like when I'm in bed at like 11:59 p.m. and I'm like, let me just look through a few of these, so but that's something I love. I love reading the comments.
Right.
It's so fun to get to know you guys through the comments and all that fun stuff. Absolutely love that.
So like when you put yourself out there to put something negative, like we are reading the comments, like those comments are being read. So like just consider that too whenever you're posting a positive or negative comment. Like who is going to be reading this? Like think about like what you know about your content creators just from watching their videos. You know that Jojo's a mom, you know that she's a wife, you know that she's a dance teacher, like you know that she's busy, like you know that she has a great personality. Like think about that, like when you are commenting. Don't be like, ugh, your voice though, like
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I'm like, oh, my voice is
Oh my
horrible.
gosh. We all did that though.
I think anytime you hear yourself, you're like, oh, it's like when you're like singing and you record yourself and you're like, oh, I sound good, and you listen, you're like, oh, okay,
Wait a
did not
minute.
sound good.
Wait
My
a
bad.
minute.
Like I was just living my dream. I know I'd be living my dreams in my car for sure
It's
when I'm by
true,
myself.
though.
Poor Nay is probably like, my mom can't sing.
She's like,
Yes, and like making sure like your comment, like think too, like is this comment, if it is somewhat negative, is it constructive or is it just to tear that person down?
right.
There's a difference between the two. So make sure like before you say anything, is it something they can change? Go over like, yes, they can change lighting. Yes, they can change their sound, you know, but they can't change their voice. They can't change the way their skin looks. You know, we just have to be more mindful about what's being put out there and just kinder. Just be kind.
Right. And like if it's not your type of video, like I know like we both when we both film and we see how many people, right? Like we see how many views our videos get. Like we know that there's people who watch certain videos. Not like maybe the person, but like we know like, okay, like on average, you know, this plan with me gets a little bit like, you know, 300 views. So like if that's not your type of video, then you just don't watch that. You know, like you just move on to the next one. You don't like have to go out of your way. Or like if you do like the music plan with me, you find the people on YouTube who do that. And you don't just say like, your plan with me was too long. Like you should just not do that and like do music. But I'm like, well, music's not really my thing. So sorry. Like go like find somebody who does.
And there's so
like,
many. There's so
your
many awesome
category.
planner babes that do different things. Some people will like start a little bit talking through what they're going to do and then they speed through the rest of their video and play music. Some people like to talk it through. You know, some people like to take their time. Like you just have to find like what you're in the mood for at the time. And that's all. And just, you know, and if somebody's voice is really bothering you, then mute it and put on the subtitle or not subtitles. Captions. Closed caption. You know, put that on and then maybe like that way you're just watching what's happening, put on your own music, put it on speed up or, you know, whatever you need to do to, you know, if it bothers you that much, then...
I do know I watch most of my videos in 2x speed and people are like, how do you know what they're saying?
I didn't even know, you know, I just recently was like, oh yeah, I can do this.
I don't know
literally
why.
like 2 months ago, I was like, oh. I was like, this whole time I've been watching things in regular time. I'm like, I can see I could have a lot more time to watch more stuff now. I'm like,
I think that my brain works in 2x speed. I don't know if it's like being a mom to like a lot of kids. I don't know. But like my brain works in 2x speed. So like my husband is always like, how do you even know what they're saying? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like you just was just saying about
you just
that.
listen.
Like,
Pay attention. It's not that hard.
You just listen. But like, yeah, like if you like the person's style, but like you maybe you don't like them talking through it, you just mute it and play music in the background or something and be like, you know, or I've seen some people like comment like, oh, I just like usually skip to the end. Some people just skip to the end to see the final result. Okay.
Right, you know, just like a quick spread, just something that's just right away done. It just kind of depends on what you're into, what you like watching. Maybe you're in the mood to watch a long plan with me. You know, it just kind of depends. And you just have to, and I feel like us sharing our life, like I said earlier, I definitely said this earlier, but just sharing our lives and talking through it is just a way for us to kind of reach out to you and anybody that might be going through the same things. Or I know I've been talking a little bit about like potty training my child, and it has been, we're getting there. We're slowly but surely she's letting us know like she needs to go to the bathroom. And we're like, we're so close. And I'm like, if you could just be consistent, it'd be so much better. But I feel like there has been a few times where I've been like, somebody help me please, because this child is the most stubborn thing on earth. She's definitely my child. She's definitely my mini-me, like no question about it. And so, you know, it's just for us to just kind of reach out and get to know you more and get advice from you, you know. So that's like for me why I like talking through things, because things pop into my brain. Like I'm a quiet person until I know you. And then I'm not very quiet. And Amber can probably attest to that.
And YouTube is like knowing people, like it is vulnerable. Like you are putting yourself out there and getting to know people. Like so it really is.
Right. And it's fun, and we're not saying like anything
it's so fun.
Like it's a lot of work, and it's a lot more work honestly than I was mentally prepared for when I first started, and I know like my family was prepared for. I know my husband and I have gotten in spats a little bit here and there about how much time, and I've tried to like make it so we just kind of made a schedule, like we're sticking to this schedule, like this is my filming time, this is our time to spend together, this is our time for family time, you know, just kind of separating those things out has helped a ton, because at first it was just like, oh, I can't, I'm filming, like, bye, I gotta go. But now I'm trying to get, like, I'm getting better about getting, like, ahead of times and getting things out a little bit quicker. So just kind of, it is work, but I've absolutely loved every moment of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is. It's just more experience and more, you know, more things that I can say I did that and I put myself out there, and, you know, I'm a super introvert. So yes, being on camera, like I won't even let my family be in the room while I'm filming. It like stresses, like the stress of them just like being near me. I'm like, I need you guys to go upstairs, please. I'm like, I can't, like, I'm not there yet. I'm not to where I'm like comfortable, like, oh yeah, let me just finish this like thing. No, I have to like push pause and be like, okay, jumping back in, because I don't know. It's a work in progress, and it's work, but it's something that has definitely made me happy and that I enjoy, and I love seeing how much like our videos have helped others, and like seeing comments like that, like this has helped so much, and like I needed this, like those comments like make it worth it. Like it's a lot of work, but they make it worth it for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a lot of work, but it's so fun. So fun. I love it.
Right, so recap, just really overall, just be kind with your comments. Think before you comment something on a video, because you don't know how much work went into that video, what that person had to do, what time of day they had to do it in, right? Just make sure you're thinking of, you know, before you comment, is this something life-giving, or is it something to tear that person down? Is it constructive criticism rather than, you know, just being, you know, straight up rude? Is it something they can work on and change? Or is it like a physical aspect they literally can't change, you know? Just really look at those things beforehand, just being kind, you know, and if you haven't done anything like this before, then it just kind of makes it a little bit harder, and you just kind of have to remind yourself, like, there's a lot more things behind the scenes that are going on that I might not realize. So just really just being aware. Be aware before you take the time, you know.
Just think about it.
Just think. But anyway, you guys, we so hope you enjoyed our first real talk of 2021. We're super excited. I think next month we have a fun subject about like business things and making moves. Anyway, but so we'll be talking. If you guys have any things, like, let us know what's going on in the community. I feel like we do a pretty good job at kind of like seeing what's happening on Facebook groups or seeing what's happening on Instagram, all those things. But if there's anything that you've been seeing, definitely like let one of us know, so that way we can make sure it's added to our topics to talk about. We obviously want to be able to talk about things that you guys are interested in, even if it's just knowing things about the community, if it's just like a planner talk, how we got started, blah blah, like whatever it might be. Comment down below, let us know, you know, whatever topics those might be. If we're missing anything that's going on, sometimes we miss some things, so I feel like between the two of us, we're pretty good at like telling each other like, oh, I saw this happen, or vice versa. But we definitely probably do miss things, because there's a lot of planners out in the world, so it's definitely hard for us to kind of monitor. So if there's anything specific you'd like us to talk about, let us know, because we'd like to bring this to you guys every single month. Next month it will be over on Amber's channel, so I'll make sure to link her down below. That way you guys can check it out. But I think that is it, you guys. Thanks so much for sticking with us and just having just a little heart-to-heart, keeping it real, all the things. I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, all right. We love you guys, and we so hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!
Time to get real. So, camera lens.
Got it.
The long bar is where you
Got
look
it.
the whole time. Don't look anywhere else.
Got it.
Okay, just a quickie and we're done. Yeah, I think. You had to go there.
You had to go there. You had to go there.
Just a quickie spread. What's wrong doing a quickie?